my pat music. Go. I want to have a little chat with you conservatives. You pseudo-conservatives, this is about you. You phonies. You repubics. You've done enough damage to this country. You've done enough damage to the Republican Party. You've done enough damage to the conservative movement. And obviously, you're not going to go away quietly. So we're going to roll you. We're going to start challenging you in primaries. We're going to start to defeat you and clean you out the way that we clean out the weeds. No, this isn't some kind of Trotskyite movement where everybody has to believe exactly the same thing. No. But it would be nice if you at least shared conservative principles, if you weren't selling out from the starting gun, if you weren't making nice with the socialists day in and day out, if you weren't giving cover to the Guantanamo detainees, if you weren't giving speeches about how we need to make sure Obama's domestic plan is successful, we want none of that. We're not interested in that. We want to defeat socialism. We want to defeat those who don't believe in securing our borders and securing this nation. Meaning, when we capture the terrorists, we want to interrogate them. When we interrogate them, we want to find out what they know, and we want to protect our armed forces and this country. We want to defend free markets against the Barney Franks and the Chris Dodds and the other frauds who ought to be in prison. We want to stand up for the Constitution and fight the judicial activists. Court by court, justice by justice. That's what we want to do if we're going to save this country. We don't want to be told anymore that but for the illegal alien, we wouldn't have crops in this country. We wouldn't have buildings in this country. We are the citizens of the United States, and we get to decide, damn it, what this country is going to be in the future, not foreign governments, not foreign citizens. If they come here as our guests, they come here legally, or they don't come here at all. Why is that a radical view? That's the conservative view. That's law and order. It's the rule of law. And if we don't have it, we have anarchy, a.k.a. liberalism. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to speak the truth. We're not going to adopt the language of the left, where they take our words and twist them to accommodate their radical agenda. We will call them out. And if they're advancing a Marxist agenda, we will call it a Marxist agenda. If they hate free markets, we're going to say that they hate free markets, because you know they do. We don't need any more false prophets, false leaders who are really promoting themselves and their own peculiar causes. No, we want to promote Americanism and our principles. Conservative principles are America's founding principles. That's the point. Individual liberty in a society that has a moral order. A government that has to live within its constitutional limits, period. Where power is divided within the federal government and among the states. Oh, you think this is a nice, old, archaic thought. No! It's the law of the land! And we need to start defending it and speaking out against it. And if people want to represent us who don't have the courage to speak the truth, to stand for law and order, to stand for the Constitution, to stand for citizenship, if they don't have the ability to do it, why in the hell should we advance their political careers? We should defeat them. We should defeat John McCain in a Republican primary. If Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to run for anything ever again, we must defeat him. We must defeat these people. Now, how do we reach out to the centrists, the independents, and the moderates? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a completely false issue. It's a canard. You don't reach out to independents like people are walking around with an I on their forehead or an M for moderate on their forehead. No! You persuade them to your point of view. You explain to them this is such a magnificent country because we're free, because of capitalism, because of private property, We are a magnificent country because we're a country founded by people who believed in God. And God's name is right there in the Declaration of Independence. We are a tolerant people because we are believers on the whole. You persuade people to your point of view. You don't pander to people who don't hold a point of view. That doesn't make any sense. You can't win elections that way. When people go to cast their vote, they're not saying, is he an independent? Is he a moderate? What they're saying is that a leader? Is that somebody who I can have faith in? Is that somebody, when I take the measure of who they are, that I believe that they can be in positions of responsibility? That's what the electorate wants, not this pandering to some nebulous middle group, moderates, who don't even know what they believe. That's not leadership, ladies and gentlemen. That's the coward's way out. That's the loser's way out. So no, we conservatives, we know how to win. We conservatives nominated Ronald Reagan, despite the fact that the Republicans in our own party were against him. And they were. They fought him every time. I know, I fought with them. We know how to win landslides. We know how to change the country. Change, change, change. Meaning what? Meaning reversing the status quo. Meaning reversing what the leftists have done. We've done it. We've done it in ways. And we can do more of it. We need to have the confidence of our views, the confidence of our principles. Not Tom Davis and Susan Collins and the Jerkinator and McCain. We don't need that. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.